Trapped Offside, welcome back. Another episode during the holiday season. Couple people out because of the holidays. The UK boys are out and about. But we're
They got COVID bans too, huh? Postponed
Doesn't look like
Premier
it.
League
Just
bans.
chilling.
Things are just getting crazy out there in the UK. Here, Canada too. But yeah, we have Arsenal to talk about. A good time to be an Arsenal fan. Look at Kunaal smiling over there.
the 3 days a year I can enjoy myself.
How fortunes have changed since the start of the show.
Bro, it took a pandemic, a new variant, and COVID protocol for them to be in top 4. Man, what's going on? What's going on over here?
Leeds had no COVID cases. Okay, it was all injuries. That's
bro. Leeds was dead, bro.
No,
Leeds was dead.
Don't blame COVID.
I told you guys about
listen.
Elsa.
Listen, yeah. The plan B, no plan B, bro. No plan
B. Blame COVID for United being under Arsenal, okay? Don't you dare use a pandemic to blame United for not playing.
No, I'm not blaming. I'm just saying, look how many factors you need to be just in the top 4.
From the UK.
There we go. I got backup, bro.
Guys,
this guy's moving mad, man.
We've got 2 games in hand. Say less. What? Probably win our 2 games. We're on top of Arsenal. You guys are just there by luck. Completely luck. Because of COVID, because of injuries. You guys are getting slapped.
Arsenal.
Sorry?
Man like M. Huncho, I said, back here talking about Arsenal.
Yeah, I just came on and heard some trash talk from Kunaal about how United are in top 4 because Arsenal are in there. Meanwhile, we've got 2 games in hand. Meanwhile, they beat Leeds, who are like the whipping boys in the Premiership right now, and they're the bad men.
11 goals in 2 games. They've been getting, 7 goals last game, 4 goals this game.
You can only beat who's in front of you, okay? Like, you can only beat who's in front of you.
Exactly. And right now, you guys are in front of us, but we've got 2 games in hand. So what after the 2 games? See if you guys are still in the top 4. You speak there.
I mean, worst case scenario, you're 1 point ahead of us. Okay, it's not a big deal. What's 1 point? You know what's 1 point?
What's crazy is the debate and his initial statements didn't even start. We just straight went at him.
I'm sitting here, I'm drinking my tea. These guys are like, okay, let's get it.
Oh
man.
Yeah, I think you might as well start, Kunaal. We've gone deep. You might as well just start with your Leeds game introduction.
I'm sorry, just before you guys start, have you guys caught the Tottenham game?
Watching it, they missed open.
Bro, Tottenham are doing bits. Yeah. I warned you guys about Conte. You guys were like, no, he's not going to do it. I said, Conte, that man's a legend. He just knows what the hell he's doing when it comes to
finish it off, bro. They're starting well, and all of a sudden losing the game is not going to help anyone.
Yeah, but that's not Conte, man. He set up perfectly. These guys not taking their chances.
Also, they've had about 17 weeks break. So, it's not hard to be super energized when you have that much time off.
Yeah, but no game time, right? So that's also like, it's like coming back up.
Yeah, but like, look who Liverpool's missing right now, right? They're missing
no, this Liverpool squad is still good. They're missing.
No, it's still a good squad for sure, but
yeah, exactly. It's not like they're a weak team.
They're still missing a couple of key players that would have made them look a little more solid.
So I guess Leeds weren't missing any key players though.
Oh no, I'm not saying Leeds weren't missing players. I'm just saying
okay.
If we're talking about Tottenham, like right now, okay?
Still need to beat them.
We're talking about someone else. All you got is you should be an Arsenal fan, man. You talk a lot about Arsenal.
Hey, listen, man. I do what I can.
We have 2 games that we have to talk about Arsenal. What is it? West Ham and
Leeds.
Did we cover West Ham? No,
we didn't. No,
it was
on Monday.
Just before Chelsea's game.
So West Ham and Leeds, 2 good results for you guys without Aubameyang.
I was
he's gone.
shocked.
I think Aubameyang's gone, right?
He wants to leave. Apparently, he's asking for a transfer in January.
So what else?
Which I'm who? Obama who? Obama what?
Obama goes
rubbish,
else.
bro.
This guy just comes in, throws on Obama Bud Yang, and then just walks away. This is starting off as a mess, guys. What the hell? Let's get some organization in here. Let's set that back line up and get this stuff.
We're moving like the Premier League, just unorganized. Chelsea wanted to postponed the game. Premier League said no. Let's just go in. Let's just go
Yeah,
in.
that-
How are they still making Chelsea play, bro? Did you see
Yeah,
our bench?
that's
Did you
yeah,
see our
man,
bench
that's
today? We
mad.
had 4
That's
outfield
mad.
players on the bench.
And
Ridiculous.
did you have to
7K
rush
started
back
or something.
Kante and
I don't know
Kovacic almost?
what's the
Because
threshold,
even
like?
Jorginho and RLC
Yeah, but
were
you
injured.
guys didn't. Yeah, but you guys didn't have any COVID injuries. You can't apply for COVID
Seven,
without
we had 7
COVID.
cases.
I mean, we didn't have
We
COVID.
had
We had 2
7
more
cases.
COVID cases this morning.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
had like
I don't know what the
trials.
threshold is. I don't know how they decide like
Casual.
how many number of
That's
cases to have before a game
That's
starts.
lightweight.
Bro,
I
what
think
you-
probably 10 plus is probably what they're looking at, isn't it? Not just like
10
a
plus.
casual.
United had like 8 and the game was called off.
Okay, then
Yeah, and that included like backroom stuff and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know, I don't know how to decide.
If it's United and Tottenham, if a person sneezes, they just call the game off. So like,
That's because of
it's very
4-3.
it's very different.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like Arsenal had half their team, gone, and they told them to play the game. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever.
Let's reel it back
Bro,
to
all
Arsenal.
your COVID cases flew to Barcelona.
Back to Arsenal. Let Kunal
Yeah,
let
we
Kunal
gotta-
get it off his chest. He's been
No, no,
holding a lot this
I-
week, so let him get it off his
He's
chest.
been holding it for
I talked about it
15
enough
years.
last week. I think my thoughts on.
Look. So now, just because Arsenal are fourth, you're suddenly giving a lot of chat, mate. You got fourth place. You're not winning any trophies. You're
I'm
still
not even talking
serious.
about
He honestly didn't even say
Arsenal
anything.
necessarily.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
Talking
know
about
what you're
being
saying.
fourth place and not winning trophies.
just now, he talked about United. I won't take it from an Arsenal fan because they got fourth. Because
Yeah,
they
but
got
you finished second and had no trophies, and you were like fluffing your chest around.
yeah, but
Me,
fourth difference, right?
me giving
Fourth and
you the
second, what's
fact
the
that me giving you the fact that right now, regardless of games in hand, that United is below Arsenal isn't an insult to United. It's just saying Arsenal is currently in fourth. That's not talking about United being shit or anything. That's just saying
Okay.
Arsenal is fourth.
That's why I take it back, backtrack. Don't come for us.
Take Arsenal being fourth back. Take facts back. No.
Look,
We'd rather
Like,
discuss
exactly
West Ham
fact.
coming to
Arsenal
fourth than
fourth.
United right now.
look. To be honest, I think we all know fourth is going to be either United or West Ham, and then Arsenal is going to be sixth.
I don't think
Fourth
United,
is-
West Ham.
Fourth is between United, West Ham, Arsenal, and Tottenham. Like it's
Don't
not
count Conte out.
it's not a two team thing because West Ham can go on a bad run of form. They got whooped by Arsenal, even though it was at home. Like where they got whooped.
Okay.
Look,
You know what's funny? SHEGZ doesn't want to hear anything about Kunal. That's why he keeps interrupting anything because he doesn't want to hear any positive just from
All right,
Kunal.
honestly, let me now talk about this West Ham game. West Ham Arsenal, because I feel like we're like the backline of Manchester United. We're all unorganized. We can't get shit together.
No. See. This is why SHEGZ needs to turn on his camera.
No,
because
I do
things
I
like
do
this. This is what
I
I'm
do
saying.
this because of you guys. I wouldn't have even said anything if you guys were quiet. Okay, I had to say it.
We love
It's I know how you guys felt last season. Like it's a good place to be. Just not eighth. Anyway. So West Ham Arsenal game. After the game against Everton, I thought I was like extremely down on Arsenal. They were I was like, these guys are not even gonna be 10th now because of how shit that performance was. But honestly, the young guys, man, Martinelli has been killing it recently. Tomiyasu, like unspoken hero right now. And even Xhaka coming back into the team. Like his first game, I think, was against, was it Liverpool or was it Everton? Either way, he comes back and he plays poorly, but then he's been very, very good in the last few games as well. Like just keeping the play moving, getting everything forward, and Tierney coming back. So I know you guys before were saying like Arsenal doesn't have any depth, but these guys that are coming back are adding to that depth because those guys who were playing well, the Lokongas, the Tavareshes and all that, like now they're on the bench and they can come in and, it strengthens the team a little bit more. So I think, and hopefully, like, I don't know, this might kick me in the butt at some point, but I think they're looking a lot better, even with Arteta, who I don't think is the best tactician. He's not as good as, a Pep, or like he's not in like the top 10 top 5. Not in the top 10 managers in my opinion in the league right now. But they're looking.
Arteta, Lampard, or Ole? Which one? What order?
One of them survived. Only one of them survived.
Fair. No, I want to give credit to Arteta. I think he's tactically a lot better than the other three, in my honest opinion. So, because I think he's learned a lot from Pep. So at least organization and structure wise, because Arteta at City was one of their main organizers on the defensive side. Pep used to do the offensive coaching. Arteta used to do the defensive coaching. So the one thing about that is that's why Arsenal, even though the players sometimes make a lot of mistakes, the structure defensively, the movement of the ball from back to front is something he's good at, and I gotta give him props for as much slander I give him. So yeah, go ahead.
Playing devil's advocate there, you could also say that Arteta, I mean, he's been given so much time because maybe the expectations weren't as high from Arteta as they were probably like for Lampard and Ole. So he has been given
as much time as Ole.
Also, yeah, but also like he didn't have the caliber of players also, right? So maybe you're not judging him on the same level as like an Ole. You know, what does Arteta do at like a team like Chelsea or a team like United? Maybe he doesn't say that long. I'm just saying he's done a great job though. Nevertheless, he's done a great job.
Yeah, you got to give him credit for.
So are you saying Arteta would have done a better job than with like a Chelsea?
No.
Or,
I'm saying
or you're
I'm
saying
saying it would have been I'm saying that he probably wouldn't have got as much time as he did at Arsenal, at United or Chelsea.
Yeah, no, he would have gotten at United because.
No, I think the only reason Ole got that much time was because like all the sentiments and the fans.
Yeah,
but I don't think like a manager who isn't like a United player or ex-United or isn't connected to United would get as much time. Like with Moyes and Van Gaal and the rest, they probably would have lose.
I mean, he would have been sacked after 3 games at Chelsea because you guys are
yeah, for sure. Yeah, Chelsea's a different story.
But honestly, there were a few times in the game against West Ham, especially after they got their red, which I don't think they deserved. It was a tough call. It wasn't a straight red. It was like a second yellow.
I don't think the first one was yellow. Like, I mean,
the first one was yellow. He like chopped him down.
Okay.
I think so. The second one, I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
but in the context of the game, there was a lot of tackles flying. So to give that a yellow, I get what Kidwai is saying. It didn't make sense at that point. And then the second yellow was, I don't know. I think he had a lot of the ball. But hey, listen, it worked out because Lacazette missed it anyway. So,
I mean, it's not even that. The funny thing is, I thought Arsenal played really bad up a man for about 30 minutes after the second yellow. I thought they played horrible. Like they were kind of just sitting back. It was the same issues that I've had with Arsenal through the season. Is once they get into a position where they're like, okay, we can control the game, they just let the other team come, like
get back into it.
Exactly, which they did against United. They've done it against pretty much every other team I can think of.
Yesterday against Leeds too, same thing.
Yeah, but I think that was a different situation because we were already up 3 goals. So like then you can
but that's the issue. You guys were up 3 goals. They scored 1 goal. They had chances to come back, and that's the thing. They didn't have the quality. For me, yesterday, I mean, if you see the first half, y'all had 15 shots in the first half on goal. I think y'all should have just come in the second half, put another 2 goals, then you hold back. Do you see what I mean? You just and that's the thing of a team with a good mentality. Like a team like City will not do that. A team like Liverpool will not do that. They will just come in the next half and just put them to bed, and then they'll make their subs and everything.
I think they had those opportunities though to put it away, but they just annoyingly, Lacazette's not in any sort of goal scoring form. I mean, you saw his weak penalty against West Ham. Like that was a very, very poor penalty. It was just like slowly.
None of your strikers are actually.
We're 0 for 3 on penalties this season. Someone else needs to take freaking penalties. Okay, throw in Martinelli. Throw in maybe not Saka just because the England stuff, but I'd Odegaard, put him to take the penalty or something. Like none of the strikers are doing it right now. So either way, there's still a like an improvement over how the team was playing last season, especially, but also even just at the start of the season. You can see that there's a lot more connection between the players. I mean, even the way they play out the back, like last season with Leno as the goalkeeper, with Bellerin on the right with depending on who it was on the left, like it kept changing. And even the center back pairing, I was terrified anytime I saw the ball go from the goalie to the center back. Now, when I see the ball go to like Benjamin White, or if it goes to even Gabriel, like I feel way more comfortable if they're going to get the ball out of their feet before any of the attacking players. And they were pressing hard. Like the West Ham game, they were trying to press. Let's see, like Antonio, what happened, bro? What's happening?
Ever since Bert put Antonio the team of the season.
Either way, like it looks a lot more comfortable. That being said, the away game was at Leeds, so like I can't take too much stock out of them having a good performance because it was.
No, you have to give it them 4-0. I mean,
no,
that's okay.
No, okay, but
greatest team playing, but you know what? You still have to go out and beat them.
It's not only not the greatest; it's one of the worst teams in the league, but it's also missing like 9 of their best players.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, yeah, of course. But these are games you have to go out and make statements in. Like, for example, Chelsea.
Sure.
I mean, Leeds didn't have the best team against Chelsea, but we made a meal out of it. So it's not like they can't play football. I mean, you still have to go and beat them.
Sure,
to get the job done and convincingly.
Right. But
however, I think he's just trying to manage his expectations, because one of the things that a lot of Arsenal fans do, I don't know about Kunaal, but it's like after you get 2 wins against like basic opponents, then they have this chest against like really good teams, and then they come back to earth. I mean, no pun intended, but that's what I mean. Like it's one of those things where it always seems to happen. You go on this run, and then all of a sudden, a couple losses and Arteta is out, and now already Arteta in. He's a genius. He needs to get another contract for another 4 years.
Genius.
You know,
did not say any of that. So other fans, maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. There is that level, because there's a classic Arsenal saying. I can't remember what it was in, but as an Arsenal fan, it's the hope that kills you. So
isn't that a meme?
It is, but it's also from an actual video. Like it's a real, it's meme, it's life, it's all that shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't get too hyped over these wins as much as I'm joking around. And it's like
you guys have Norwich next. You guys have a decent run.
Yeah, they have a really good run. They have a really good
solid run where we can actually, this is the first time since like 2017, I think, that we're in the top 4 in December.
Yeah,
because that's what, as I mentioned, you required a pandemic, a new COVID, a new variant.
There was no pandemic. There was no pandemic in 2017. Okay, the pandemic was everyone else doing shit. And let's not blame a pandemic. Okay, let's take this seriously. Everyone get
listen. All jokes aside, I think one of the most important things is getting those points on the board, and it doesn't matter who you play. It's about getting the result, and you guys did it.
Because if they rack up points, even though the teams behind them have games in hand, they still have to win those games. So it puts
a lot more pressure. Exactly. So, and that's why I think it's really important that you make these points. So Arsenal are in a good spot. Now it's just about the consistency bit of it. I think one of the main things that really frustrated me from the Leeds game, not just as a fan, is like you could see how dominating Arsenal was. I just felt they could have put the foot to the throat, and like, your teams of past would have done that. They would just come in and just end it. You guys didn't do that. Sorry,
I probably come with time, is what I'm saying.
I think it's gonna come with time because
they don't have time. That's the thing. They cannot have time.
We do have time. Think about this. I think we do have time now, because again, the understanding now at Arsenal is that it's a youth movement. Think about our best players. Think about the players that are doing amazing right now. They're the youngest players on the team. Saka, Martinelli, Emile Smith-Rowe, Odegaard, who else? Balogun's eventually going to come into the team. Tierney's very young. Tomiyasu's young. All of these players.
So so what you're like, basically what I'm assuming from what you're saying is you'll be happy if you're just developing the youth but don't win trophies for another.
No, I'm not saying that. I mean, first of all, we have one potential trophy that we can win this year, and I don't count it as a trophy. So like, I don't care that much. Top 4 right now is the goal. I don't know how achievable it is with Tottenham having those games in hand, with United having those games in hand, with West Ham. They're up and down. Like, who knows how West Ham's gonna continue? Will they stay up? Will they go down? Will they end up being like a 6th, 7th right now? Who knows? We don't know what position any of these teams are realistically going to be in. But for now, the vision is the youth movement is what's proceeding. And that actually, I saw a really important question, not important, but like a good question is your teams also have a lot of youth. Would you trade those players for any of the other really good young players coming up now?
No, because I think we have a good group of youth. We've got in like a person like Ahmed Diallo. Pelestri hasn't played a lot. We have Hannibal Mejri, Zidane.
I don't see how I don't see like how Diallo and the log get into the team. Not with the squad you have right now.
Listen, I think Diallo has potential and he can get developed. I don't think he's going to be a first team player. It's just about using the youth correctly. To your question, Kunaal, I would not trade any of the youth players. I always believe that you, in a solid squad, even with youth, you can win, but you need to have the right mentality of experience around the youth to make sure they win. Because remember class of 92, whenever they came in, I mean, there was likes of Eric Cantona over there, Dennis Irwin, like some legends at our club already there. So they started learning from the legends. What I feel in Arsenal is like you have the youth leading the direction. It's like it cannot totally be the youth if you get what I'm saying. You know, it's like the younger guys are the ones leading by example. You need to have a proper balance of experience and youth. You need some older leaders to speak to them because the kids don't know what it is to say what I say. They haven't been in certain situations.
Like for sure.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely. That's why it's impressive what Arsenal is doing. And I think Chelsea did that really well 2 seasons ago when you had your like Mason Mount was starting to come up and just kill it, and Tammy Abraham and those guys, like they were the ones leading the line at that time. And I think we're in maybe not a similar position because I think you guys were
but who did they have behind that? I mean, they had
they didn't have Conte.
You can speak on that, Burton. They had a lot of veterans on that back line too to speak with them, right?
Yeah, well, Azpilicueta, Conte, the key ones, I think, and Jorginho had a bad season, that one under Lampard, and so we had Kovacic, I think.
Yeah, but I think it's a similar scenario because we have.
But yeah, it was a good integration, definitely, of those, and I think last season helped them more than the previous season. Just the run that they had, even in the Champions League at like the highest level, with especially like Mount and Reece James and stuff, plays a significant role in winning the Champions League tournament. I think that boosts your mentality and it just helps you.
Absolutely, keyword mentality. That's what it is that winning mentality, because sometimes with the youngsters it can go to their heads, and it's about the veterans to keep them grounded. And I don't think Arsenal have enough, should I say, winners. I mean, other than Oba, who's won a couple titles in I think at his time in Dortmund, right? He won a couple titles. Other than that, who else do they specifically have that has won titles?
I wouldn't say titles, but you have like the captain of Switzerland. You have the captain, like we have team players who are captains on international teams. So there is that still. Like Odegaard is, I think he's captain material. And the same with Xhaka. Like as much as I don't like him, and I don't think he should be captain of this team, like he still has that.
And they've won the FA Cup, right? Like 2 seasons ago or something.
Yeah, they beat us.
Yeah.
Isn't like a lot of those players still in the team?
A lot of those players are gone. Like
I don't think a lot of those players.
The youth was still there. I think that's when Saka was starting.
Was it Lacazette? Obama?
Yeah, Laka was there. Laka and Oba was there.
Yeah,
Xhaka was there too, wasn't Xhaka?
Yeah. Xhaka's been there. Like, but the team is very different than it was then. Like Rob Holding was on that team. Callum Chambers was still on the squad.
Bellerin was still there.
Bellerin, but Bellerin's not here anymore.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Saka was there, right?
Saka was there. Yeah. So, but the thing is, the contrast from like that season to this season is very different because that's when Aubameyang was like on fire.
No, we're talking in terms of like winning, being in a situation of winning tournaments or winning a trophy or whatever it is, right?
Again, personally, I didn't take too much stock into that because you guys had bigger fish to fry at the time.
Yeah, but it still has to be done at some point, and especially for like a team like Arsenal that are building or whatever, like you still have to have those certain moments where you get over the line and reach the finish line, where you're not always falling short. I think because that plays on your mind eventually when you keep falling short in tournaments, then eventually you question yourself when you reach those final stages.
Yeah, Kunal, and also the other reason I was just mentioning that is because a lot of the games from the 70th to the 90th minute, I always feel that for some reason Arsenal seem a little too susceptible to a goal. Like even in the Leeds game, right? I was a little frustrated by the fact that you guys did such a good job on Rafinha. All right. Ben White goes into a tackle that shouldn't have even. Y'all should have kept that clean sheet. Do you see what I mean? Because a clean sheet does so much, and y'all literally gave them a chance. Then they start getting the momentum and start pressing you a lot harder in the from that 70th to the 90th minute. And it's not just that game, even the Everton game, even the game before. It's a consistent thing, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like I look for somebody to be like who can make the difference. Maybe hold the ball. Tell the guys, listen, we need to keep the ball in possession, move the ball around, or keep everybody composed, or someone to lead. And I don't see anybody in Arsenal doing that, especially during the 70th and the 90th minute. And I think a lot of the times, and against Leeds, yes, you guys were able to get the other goal, and it was when Smith Rowe came in, scored the goal. It was lights out, But against Everton, you saw what happened. They kept pressing really, really hard and high, and then last minute, Damari Gray gets a goal.
We had the same thing against West Ham, though, where Emile Smith Rowe comes in and then he brings it. So I think one of the things that needs to be done is Smith Rowe needs to come on earlier, just to bring that energy up. Because there's a
you don't think he has to start?
I think having him come off the bench, because the thing is, I'm not going to take Martinelli off for him. I think Martinelli
this guy's your left wing in the team of the season. How are you dropping ESR? What's wrong with you?
Okay, but have you seen the form of Martinelli right now?
Yeah, Martinelli's been great.
I guess you go based on form, but coming back to what Maranol was saying, I think that happens with every team, and I would say almost every game where there's you can't dominate a game from start to finish, right? There's certain points where you're going to see that shakiness, but I think the important thing there for Arsenal is Arteta recognizes those situations and then makes changes. And then it proves to be an effective change. Like every time, like he brought on like Emile Smith Rowe, for example,
he scored twice coming on,
right? And even like it didn't work out at Everton, and they just looked depleted altogether, the whole Arsenal squad. So that game, I understand your point, but I think in general, I think there are certain situations, but it's those are the moments where it's up to the coach to make those tactical changes and to see out that period and come out on top of those periods, because you are going to face those shaky periods in between games. But
Burton, but that's what I'm trying to say. Why don't they have control? It's like Arsenal always have control of the game for so much that they should end it, and then it's all right. But it always feels like around that time they lose control. And I don't mean like this possession wise. And I know when you say all teams, but I don't think there's some teams that they know that they got to dig down and they got to control the ball or what to do almost in that time.
Yeah.
I just feel like Arsenal don't know what to do specifically. Yes, you can make the substitutions, but I feel that they don't have a control during those periods, and the control during the periods where they need to just end it.
That's where the youth factor comes in the mentality, because that's
correct.
where
exactly that's
pressure,
where I was
right?
going back towards.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see they're a developing team. Like those situations, they don't know how to handle it.
Exactly.
So it's all about,
absolutely. That's what I was tying down to your veteran players and the winning mentality and just those identity of players who know that they've been in that situation. They can see the other team is on the up, what needs to be done. They can tell players, go here, cover the space. Do you see what I mean? It's these little things.
But I think they are working on that. But I do know what you're talking about. Like when Arsenal goes up 2 goals, there's a point where the mentality should be ruthless, not toothless. Like that's what they need. They need to continue, and they need to keep pushing, trying to get a goal. But then they sit back, and it's definitely something that I've noticed all season long. I think they're starting to improve it, because there are times especially that United game, right? We sat back and just let. Why are you giving Ronaldo 17 opportunities to score goals? It's not a good move. Ronaldo is potentially just all around the best striker that's ever been out there,
Mm-hmm.
top couple, right? Why are you giving him that opportunity? Regardless of his age, he's still going to be a top scorer. So
He's a scorer. That's what he does right now.
Yes.
He's a goal scorer right now. That's it. That's
so
what he does.
when you have that pressure and you guys were sitting back, Arsenal should have kept going and kept going and kept going. But instead, they stopped. They were like, okay, we're gonna see if they can score a goal on us. Which that comes down to Arteta as a manager. And you were saying he was the guy at City doing all of the defensive work, right?
Defensive work, yeah.
That goes to him trusting his defense more than he's trusting his forwards. And I think there's going to be a huge change now with Ova possibly off the squad permanently. I think there's going to be a big mentality shift because
I think it's a good thing.
I agree. I think there's been
I agree too.
A selfish
I think it would be a
player.
blessing in disguise.
And
No
you
offense,
can
but
also
I don't respect a captain who says, "Oh, I'm the coolest captain in the league." That just rubs me the wrong way almost.
I feel you there.
You can also play Martinelli as a centre forward and Emile Smith-Rowe on the left wing.
Exactly.
So you have
Exactly. That's where I was leaning towards, by the way, because his link-up play is a lot better. He's a lot more physical. He's a lot more direct. You know, he makes a lot of runs that maybe Lacazette doesn't make. And then you have Smith-Rowe, who's very good on the ball and can create for Martinelli too. So that was something I was thinking. But I was also understanding the fact that Martinelli is not as fit. He's really injury prone. Also, he had a knee issue. So maybe Arteta is thinking of it that way, and that's why he keeps using him for limited minutes and then bringing in Smith-Rowe. Could be. So
I think, but what you were saying earlier about the youth, I think that's why Martinelli's not starting as center forward, because even though Laka is not on good form scoring in any way, his link-up play, first of all, with the midfield and with the wings is really good. But the one thing that he does that people don't really notice is that he pulls defenders away from the center of the pitch. Like
his movement off the ball. That's what it is.
Is incredible.
Smart.
And he gives like, let's say Martinelli coming off the left, he gives him a lot more space to play so that there's not a center back in the way of him as he's coming into the park. Like into.
Do you remember I was telling you that during one of the games that I can't remember which Arsenal game, but the reason Laka was playing is actually so that Aubameyang has enough energy to make. I don't remember which game, but one of the episodes I was telling you about that. But that's exactly what it is. And the thing is about Martinelli, he consistently makes the run. He doesn't stop. Not like Oba. He'll do that when he's in the mood almost. But Martinelli, he's more driven. He's more hungry, and he keeps making those runs. And you could see that against the Leeds game. There was one occasion on a counterattack. He was the only one bombing down. Then he had to actually slow down to make sure he drops the ball back to the guys. Do you remember that incident occasion, I think?
I can't remember exactly
60th minute or 60th minute or something like that.
Because Laka's hold-up play is really good. So he spins himself to one of the defenders. So it opens up spaces for like Martinelli or whoever.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he can
even the goal, even the first goal where Martinelli, what a score, what a goal. But just the way Martinelli comes in, gets the ball to Lacazette. Laka gets fouled, but he still finds a way to like tip the ball towards Martinelli, and then he just gets into the top right corner. So I think they're working really well together, and that's why I'm saying I don't think Emile Smith-Rowe is gonna start for them right now. Also, his impact off the bench is incredible. Like, you need that guy off the bench as well to have that impact when your team is starting to get low energy, because his ability to also fit in either on the left, right, or in the middle for Odegaard. So you can pull off either Martinelli if he's not feeling fit at the moment. You can pull off Saka if he's not feeling great, and then you can pull off Odegaard. He still has the opportunity to play in any of those positions. You can push guys around. You can get Martinelli in the center, and you can get Emile Smith-Rowe on the left after you take off, Lacazette if the game's already, in hand. So Emile Smith-Rowe is like a perfect sub to come in and fill in any of those positions because he does them. I think left is probably his best position, but he's able to play on in any of the other positions fairly well. But anyway, we've been talking about Arsenal for.
Yeah, I think.
Wait, one last question for you. So, Kunaal, are you Arsenal? Are you Arteta in or Arteta out? Or because I know you keep saying a lot about time.
He's Arteta in between.
right, I'm gonna leave it at that then. I'm gonna leave it at that.
That's actually that's a great line.
What, you want to be in between Arteta?
All right, let's cut that off right there.
We'll move on to Chelsea. 2 draws, drop points. Not the best time for Chelsea to be dropping points, to be honest.
It's never a good time.
Two very different games for me, because the Everton game, I think we absolutely dominated that game, and it was all down to the finishing. We had 80% possession. We had 20 plus shots in total. We needed to create 20 chances to score our first goal, which is great. For me, like, the front line, just something has to give, man. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, the number of chances we're creating, it's just crazy for us not to finish and not to be comfortably winning those games. Like, the defense, I know we can slip up every now and then, and that's exactly what happened with Everton. With one chance, they scored their goal, and that's all they needed. But even after then, we still created, but we just couldn't finish the game off. Wolves, I expected us to have a tough game, even if we had a fully fit squad, because they gave everyone a run for their money. Liverpool struggled against them. City struggled against them. But the second half against Wolves for us, I thought, was very good. I thought we really gave a lot in that second half, and we still couldn't score a goal. So for me, it's just these are the type of games.
Everton was the 1-1, correct?
1-1. Yeah, Everton was the 1-1 game.
Did you see that Saul kept everybody on side on that goal, right?
Oh my God,
A, he kept everybody on side. B, he then did not manage to get his head onto the ball, which he should have.
And C, he also pushed away Rudiger.
Man, just absolute mess. I don't know.
And you know what? This isn't the first time where in the season where we should have killed the game off, and it's come back to hit us. It happened with West Ham. It happened with Burnley. It happened with Everton.
Mm-hmm.
And today we have to give credit to Wolves. Those actually did play.
Yeah, they were very compact and a lot of energy too.
It didn't help that he was forced to play. I don't know if Conte is fully fit. He seemed to be. He didn't carry. He didn't get another injury, so that's a positive, I guess. Kept a clean sheet. I'm just looking at positives. Kept a clean sheet today. Again, we had a Ziyech, Mount, Pulisic up front. Who, to be fair,
the false nine is not working for me.
Nope. He doesn't have a choice right now. Captain America can't play in the middle.
We're down to like the bare bones of this team, man. It's just like no options off the bench.
But with the same front three, we created so many chances against Everton. We created more than enough chances to win that game comfortably.
But not with Pulisic wasn't up front. I think was it Havertz, or am I wrong in assuming that?
No, against Everton, the same three. Same three.
No, Pulisic. It was the same three.
Yeah,
Pulisic was up top.
Yeah, he was.
They kept changing Pulisic and Mount or whatever.
Pulisic and Mount kept switching even this game, but that's not working for me, man.
I don't blame Tuchel, but doesn't really have a lot of choices with all his front line pretty much out.
Havertz is out.
Yeah, Havertz out, Werner out, Hudson-Odoi out, Lukaku out.
What happened to Werner?
COVID.
All these guys are out with COVID.
It's just crazy.
And secondly, I don't know.
With injuries and COVID and whatnot, I have honestly.
I don't know how we were allowed to go on with this.
If Reece James picks up another yellow, he's missing the next game. Can you imagine? We're down to like nothing.
And
but I think the rest of the guys will be back probably next game. Oh no, they got the test today.
Yeah. Today there were another 2. Then the 2 games.
I think there were
that game. There were 4.
I think yesterday we had like two positive cases, and that's when they appealed to get the game postponed, and it wasn't, which I don't understand because that's 7 cases now.
On the bench we had Sarr, Barkley, Saul, and
Kepa and I don't know.
Those are our 4 outfield players on the bench today.
But if I am going to look at positives, it's good to have Kovacic back. That second half, he did bring something into the game. Of course, he's just come back, but you could already see what a difference he makes.
Absolutely. You could see the link-up play, his composure on the ball, just linking the back to the front.
He holds the ball.
It was so fluid.
Yeah.
The positions, if you notice that he picks up, in difference to Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek likes drifting central a little bit.
Yeah.
He likes drifting wide, picking up the ball, and likes
Carrying
playing
it
off players. I
forward.
love
And he
Kovacic.
can
He's a
carry it
very
forward.
underrated
Yeah,
center
because
midfielder.
Loftus-Cheek is not a box-to-box midfielder, man.
Yeah.
He either plays as a 10 or he plays on either way. That's his role. He's been put into the
I agree
pivot
with
role
that.
because there's nobody else. But
Mhm.
Kovacic is the ideal box-to-box midfielder. He's
I mean,
so
he used
good.
to play
You're
in a
playing
Madrid
alongside-
3, remember?
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
Like,
if you're
he's
playing
a
alongside, like,
classy player.
Yeah.
alongside
Modric,
Casemiro.
Kroos,
Good with both his
Casemiro.
feet. So he's really good. But yeah, that second half for me, Thiago Silva, man, over the last 2 games, he's just been outstanding. The way this guy reads the game is incredible. He doesn't have the pace to make recoveries, but his positioning, he makes up for it with his positioning, and in the air, he's so good. He's just phenomenal. And I think he's going to extend for another year, so that's
I hope
good
he does.
for us. Yeah, but
That being said, we still have a big problem.
But this is why I get very frustrated with a lot of Manchester United fans who are like, Maguire needs someone who's fast next to him and all of these things. It doesn't matter. Pace doesn't matter. If you're able to read the game, you will always be ahead of the ball. I don't know if you remember Daley Blind. He used to play for Manchester United. Smallest guy, man. But his positioning, man. He was.
Look at him at Ajax now. He's absolutely.
Yeah, and he played center back for Netherlands.
Yeah.
He's not the fastest guy, man. And people overrated. But if they're always in the right position, they're gonna make themselves.
The same thing with John Terry, man. John Terry towards
absolutely.
Yeah, but you don't
Absolutely.
need the centre backs to be rapid.
No.
Fullbacks to be rapid. Yes, fair enough.
Maldini wasn't the most rapid center back. Cannavaro wasn't the most rapid center back.
I think most center backs aren't that.
Exactly. That's not an attribute, or that's not something that you need from your center.
Exactly. But for United, for some reason, we have some fans saying, "Oh, we need a fast center back with."
But that's only because Maguire is so fucking slow.
No, but that's the thing. But then why are you overrating Maguire? Is my point.
Yeah.
My point is
Maguire
is so overrated, and that's all it is. There's a lot of defenders better than him.
The price tag is the problem, because when you buy someone for 80 million,
English bias, basically,
you're gonna have that. You're gonna have that pressure.
Honestly, Maguire was pretty good last season, I think.
Maguire's issue is, 1, he doesn't have the pace. 2, his positioning is pretty poor, and
very poor.
3, he gets caught out a lot. Like, he makes errors on the ball in certain games that if you're a top quality center back, you just cannot be making those errors.
He creates bad situations.
What I give him is that he can carry the ball forward.
But his ball carrying in the air, he's very good.
Very good.
His passing is also pretty decent. But
at times his decision making.
To be a top center back, he doesn't have those qualities to consistently put out a top game after game after game.
Exactly. And I think the worst thing Ole could have done is directly given him the captain's armband. For me, it put too much pressure on him that he couldn't develop his own game. Because I agree with you, he has those attributes, but he needs to perfect it better. But back to Chelsea and Thiago Silva, I do agree with you. I think he's a great defender. He played well. His positioning on that game was good. But as I said, I think the main thing is, and it's a big concern, I was worried about it at the start of the season, but then when I saw Timo and Lukaku, everybody coming into the team and everything, I was like, okay, you know what? Chelsea will be fine. They needed a striker. Now what's happening is the defenders' goals have dried out and you cannot get goals from anywhere else. Do you guys still think you can compete with City or Liverpool?
The thing is, it's 2 issues here. 1 is we're creating a lot of chances, but not finishing those chances. And 2, we're just not having a run of a fully fit squad. There's players coming in and out. There's so much chopping and changing. There's injuries. There's COVID. If you look at the list of injuries and players out we've had since the start till now, where it's only been 17 games or whatever, coming to mid-season, we still haven't had a run of all these players fit, the full a fully squad fit, where Tuchel knows, okay, this is my front 3 who can consistently finish, put out chances, and play week in, week out. It's always chopping and changing. There's no chemistry building. That's why in the final third, everyone looks so lost. Nobody knows who's passing to whom, what play is happening. But the build-up play is so good. The build-up play and the playing out from the back is so organized and so effective. But when it comes to that final third, everyone just looks lost. They're like a deer in cotton headlights.
But this
So,
my pushback on that is I think you create the chances. I just think your
Yeah.
players cannot
that's what I'm
finish.
saying. That's what I'm saying. The final third, the finishing is dead. Like we're creating all those chances. Like last season, since Thomas Tuchel came in, Chelsea had the highest chances created in the league last season.
We're just not finishing it.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
not
so
finishing.
would
And
you-
those issues have
so then-
carried on to this season. And we've brought in Lukaku. He's played I don't know how many games out of those 17.
We played 18 games now. I think he's probably played maybe like a handful, maybe 6, 7, 8 games.
We just not have time to build that chemistry or to figure out a plan as to who that front three is and who's finishing the chances, because nobody's finishing the chances.
Yeah,
Were there
So then I can say that your recruitment was bad, and you'll have wasted almost, I'd say, at
No, I
least
don't think recruitment was bad.
120. Because y'all have invested a lot into that attacking front.
Right.
You have a
Correct.
Timo, you have a Lukaku. Even when Lukaku was there, he didn't look great. All right. And my point is obviously a lot of other clubs get like a lot of pushback for a lot of players. I mean, I think at the same time, a club like Chelsea needs. Now, we're not talking about Pepe, please. Don't even bring up Pepe. No, but I mean, I'll be honest with you. I just think the pressure for the expectation is so high. So you need to then analyze that. Okay, you know what? We've spent all this money. How did we get it wrong in the attacking side? Because you have a lot of attackers. They just haven't developed. So next thing is January transfer window. Do you think you will be sending some people out? Will you be getting anybody in?
No, there's
or
no
should you just call the transfers
this time.
the striking transfers a flop? Then maybe.
I don't think we can sell anyone at this point, right? I think everyone is crucial to the squad. With all the injuries going around, this COVID situation happening, I don't think we're going to sell any of those attacking players. Also, if you want to sell those players, you have to sell them on a high. I mean, you can't be selling them off just because they're underperforming. No one's going to pay you top dollar for that, right?
But
So
that's what I'm saying.
Form, right?
At this rate, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we're going to sell any of these players, and I don't think we're going to bring anyone in either, because we have enough options. We just need, like Bert said, we don't have a consistent 11. If you look at City and if you look at Liverpool, I mean, Liverpool have a set 11, right? And especially that
City keep chopping and changing, and they're still getting the results.
Yeah, because that's how many years under Pep of understanding the system. Everyone fits in perfectly, man. Whoever comes in does the
Pep
job.
is a great man manager.
Yeah, everyone knows their role.
Everyone happy. Like,
and it's just like
he wanted to leave this at the start of the season, and now he is like the most important player in that City team. But even then, even with City, right, you have a standard front three. Okay, Grealish comes in every now and then, but you know that if you want, you can always play these front three. He doesn't necessarily play them, but he's not forced not to play them because they're not injured, right? He changes them tactically for the game. Like even with Chelsea, right? You had Havertz playing as a striker when Lukaku got injured. You had Werner coming back in. But the thing was, he had those options to make the changes. But now he doesn't have any of those options. He's forced to play players which maybe he doesn't want to play, right? He's forced to play.
No, but Kidwai, my thing is, I'm not saying that you have the perfect line and the injuries. My point is, you're creating the chances within it. So it doesn't matter like that you have a mixture of players. My main thing is your players are not finishing. That shouldn't be the impact of injuries or anything. It's just whoever has played there is not finishing. So I'm not saying that y'all don't have the injuries. What I'm saying that it doesn't matter what attacking players you play, or even if they're consistent, even when at the start of the season they weren't getting enough goals. My main thing is I think the personnel has been wrong. That's what I'm trying to get at. Basically,
we said it earlier in the season too. It's not sustainable to have your defender being your leading goal scorer.
No, of course not.
It's just not possible.
That's exactly what I was going to get back at. That's
a fair point.
Discussion
because the attackers haven't put up the numbers, and that's just facts, right?
So, I mean, it is unfortunate that Lukaku, who was on form, and then he got injured, right? And then he stopped. He missed a bunch of games.
But if you look at it, because Lampard was playing a lot of like free flowing football. You know what I mean? Like look at Pulisic under Lampard, right? He was on fire, and these players have come in now under that Lampard free flowing football. But now the role has completely changed for them under Tuchel. They're asked to do all this tracking back and all this like what do you call like composed football, right? Like they all have a set compact role in the team. So for me, like it is up for debate for sure, because they haven't put up the numbers. But even having said that, they haven't had that run this season to consistently figure out their roles and who is playing off whom and what that front three is. So up until then, it's going to look very like lackluster, and it's going to look like all over the place, especially in the final third. So, but we need to finish our chances, man. Like it just
because even today, I mean, you had a couple. I think Pulisic had a good chance. Listen, it was a good save. However, a good striker lays it across near post, possibly also, or gets more lift on the lob or something. So I'm just asking these questions because a lot of players were putting a lot of Pulisic is this, all right, or Ziyech is gonna like get all these goals. Havertz is gonna deliver. Lukaku is gonna deliver. Timo Werner. That's 5 people. That's at least 150 million. You know, so if everybody else gets some kind of pressure on their players, I mean, I think Chelsea deserves the pressure in those positions, and hopefully the fans are putting as much pressure. That's where I was getting at, because that's why I wasn't really concerned about Chelsea. I believed it was just about form, but you need to start picking up goals and you need to figure it out fast, because I think what had happened is, and this is just an outsider looking in, there was so much focus that the I think 3 or 4 games before, people were saying, "Oh, Chelsea's too defensive and everything." What Tuchel started to do is try to play more expansive, and then once he started playing more expansive, if you notice, you all started conceding a bit more goals. I think there was a lot more focus towards scoring because of the fact that you guys weren't scoring. I don't know if you see that in your game, but I think you guys were trying to be more expansive, and y'all were getting caught on some of the goals you were giving.
I think that's only part of it, but also the timing of losing the midfield. Like Kante, Kovacic at the same time, and Ben Chilwell has played alongside that. So part of that, yes, but also this has played like a major role in it, because you can see how imbalanced the midfield is and how many times you're losing possession of the ball and stuff like that. So
even today, even if you see today's game, in that first half, we had Kante and Chalobah playing as the 2 midfielders, right? And of course, you're not going to get any creativity out of those 2. Kante, yes, he can carry the ball forwards, but you can't expect creativity out of him or Chalobah, right? So you can clearly see like where that was lacking. He made the change in second half. Kovacic comes on, whole different game. You know, we started creating more, we started moving. And I don't think it's just that we were trying to play expansive football, because even like when everyone was fit, we were still creating a lot of chances. We were still scoring a lot of goals. It's just that losing that midfield, I think, had a bigger impact on us conceding those goals than trying to be more attacking.
So wait, either of you, I heard a lot, but none of you answered the question. So what do you think of City and Liverpool? Do you think you guys are actually going to be by the end of the season in the title charge? Or
I think I said
that's what I'm saying. Like,
no,
I mean, like, specifically, no.
For me, we will be.
You will be.
But
okay.
No, I'm going to say the same thing I said at the beginning of the season. I would expect us to compete for the title, but City are my favorite right from the start. Right? I expect us to compete. Having said that, come the end of the season, I still expect us to be within, let's say, 6 to 9 points of the leaders, wherever that puts us, whether it's second or third. Because for me, City and Liverpool are still miles ahead of us. And to add to all these injuries and everything we've had, I can't realistically expect us to win a title competing with those two on that level, right?
Fine.
So I do expect us to challenge for the title. Falling short.
But you don't see them.
I don't see us winning the title this season. But I expect us to be within 6 to 9 points of the leaders. Anything less of that would be an underachievement for me for sure. But I still expect us to have a good run in the Champions League. I still expect us to win the Club World Cup. We have won the Super Cup. I still expect us to go far, or at least win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, those 2 competitions. So all those put together would be a successful season for Chelsea under the first full season for Tuchel.
That's a great transition into what do we think of the Champions League draws?
For me, honestly, I told you.
I like how the Arsenal fans are asking about Champions League from the excitement.
Right now,
excitement.
I just have to be a moderator right now because our time's coming.
I told you guys I would take anything. I would take whoever because honestly, we should be playing.
You got whoever.
Yeah, but on paper we got the easiest draw out of the 4 possible options. So I mean,
if you check on FIFA right now, none of those guys have faces on the team. So.
So
no, what are you talking about? Wait, you guys got Lille, right?
Hello, Lille, League One, League
One champions from last season, man.
Yeah,
Lille is decent,
farmers, bro. They're the king of the farmers. Put some respect on them. Come on. So, but hopefully we don't have any complacency like I had mentioned in this game because it's the easier draw on draw on paper. But Lille is still a decent side, and I would expect those 2 ties to be close. And there's no away goals and all that stuff this year. So
that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that's good. That's an interesting thing that away goals.
But you know what?
So not being there.
I'm not a big fan of not having the away goals. I like the away goals. I mean, they create a little bit more, a little more to the game. What I would have changed is, like, if the game ends on equal terms after 2 legs, to scrap the away goal rule in the extra time. That I would be fine with. Because that kind of like unfair.
I missed that away goals rule because I think the fact that you go away and you put in like a strong performance is like something else. Just imagine going to Anfield and getting a result, going to like Galatasaray or Besiktas, this Turkish club, and just getting a result. Like away goals should always mean something. I kind of don't like it, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I don't. The one thing is it's unfair to the team that plays like the
second
leg away. Yeah, it's not fair.
That ends up being like, because then you're kind of like, if you get dominated, you're a little.
Yeah,
you have to take these chances.
That away goal thing is more of a mental factor, man.
Yes, mental factor. That's what I'm saying. Now it's like the players need to hype themselves up. Even the coaches need to.
And then you're calculating
kind of be mentally
how many
ready.
goals you need, and it just throws you off completely.
Yes, bro. It's a whole different dynamic, man.
I think I like that bit of the Champions League of having that away goal. Imagine you come up with a 1-0 victory away from home, and then okay, we're in the box seat, we're in the driver's seat. And you can set up your team how you want. It was fun.
Yes, bro. Exactly. That competitive advantage. You see what I mean?
And you deserve it.
You're taking that away, man.
Yeah, if you're going away and getting a result.
What are your thoughts on the Atletico draw, Maranol? I know that was the one team you didn't.
And I wanted PSG United so badly. I just wanted to see United.
It's really complicated because it's going to be 2 different styles of football. There's such a defensive style, and looking at what Ragnick is trying to do, we're trying to be a high intensity, up the field, attacking team. We struggle against a low block. So that's one of the issues against a team like that. And freaking Atletico is really clinical. That's how they play. They get 2 or 4 chances and they
set piece goal or something they get, and then
you know what I'm saying? And they just grind out results, and that's the problem. Like on our day, we can absolutely demolish them with the strike force we have. However, this is one of those things where against a team like them, this is what they do. We low block. Only positive is Ronaldo has scored a lot against Atletico Madrid, I believe. I don't know the exact stat count, but he has a really good record against Atletico.
Like 7 goals, 7 goals, 5 goals.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just not the kind of game I like, man. It just is too nervy for me, and I believe we should be getting the result. All right, I think on paper we have a better squad. However, it's just the styles of play. It's like a different style boxing match almost.
To be honest,
and whoever comes through.
I think this tie could go to penalties, man. I can see both legs being draws. Honestly, just both teams just sitting compact, because United have played that way, like more compact and more defensive in their last 2 games under Ragnick. I don't know if that will change or evolve, but
they've played compact, but they've played higher up the pitch. I think, and I don't know how true this is. I think the last game that we saw against Norwich, was actually a team that I think they were suffering. Some of them might have had COVID also because they were really fatigued. We had only 17 players, by the way, that were ready for the game, and that's why it had to be canceled because everyone else had COVID. So I don't know whether, because the intensity wasn't there, they weren't aggressive in tackles. There was a lot of fatigue also from the players. So I don't know whether that had an impact. But to your point, Burton, I don't. We'll be compact. However, we will be pushing higher, and that's what I think. I don't think we'll play like how we used to play during Ole's days, where literally 10 people behind the ball, right on the penalty box. I don't think it's going to be one of those. I think we're going to push higher because that's what Ragnick wants to do. I mean, if you see RB Leipzig, how they play against a Bayern, that's how we're gonna play.
But having said that, I don't think that's possible because firstly, you guys' games are just getting called off one after another. I don't know how many games you're gonna get to play or to put that into effect by the time these games come up. You know what I mean? It
absolutely the fitness and the training also onto that.
And also, what could work in your favor is if this COVID situation worsens internationally, I think those games could be played without fans.
Absolutely.
And I think if those games are played without fans, I think it benefits United more than it benefits Atletico. Because United at home struggle, man. At home, United struggle. But when they go away, they play well. So if they go away and they don't have those Atletico fans, I think it puts United in a better situation.
Well, I get what you're saying. However, my main thing is with everything that you've said, you've not been able to put everything together in terms of on the training field, right?
Yeah.
Atletico have been doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again with the same coach. And that's the problem I'm saying is they're so well drilled in what they're going to do. So it doesn't really matter. For us, it's almost with a new coach in a back to a pandemic time just because the players are there, but it's a different philosophy. So that is going to impact how we play too. And that gives to me Atletico the advantage also because it comes down. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, keep going.
No, that was it. It was mainly that gives to me, instead of it giving United the advantage, I think it gives Atletico the advantage due to the fact that they're so well drilled in what they do and have been doing it for a longer time and more consistently.
Okay, first of all, I don't think Atletico's been playing that well right now. Like they barely scraped into UCL, into a spot, if I'm not mistaken.
What's your position in the league? I'm pretty sure
fifth, I think fifth or sixth, if I'm not mistaken, in that league. I don't think they're playing too well.
All that goes out the window in these UCL knockout games, man. Like it's whoever performs better on the day. They still have a quality squad. They still have Suarez up top. They still have Felix. They still have decent midfield. They're very good defensively. So it's a matter of 2 90-minute games, and honestly, it could whatever happens on the day. So I think all this league form and everything goes out the window, man.
The game's end of February, right?
It's mid-Feb. I think end Feb. End Feb and mid-March.
You have about 2 months, I think, if you have...
Yeah, but how many games are they going to play? All the games are getting postponed.
Yeah.
But the thing where, if you... This is going to sound weird, but I think the teams that have more cases right now are going to benefit long run because they're going to start being able to get more of a run.
Sounds a bit complicated for Arsenal fans, huh? Just to take it in, all these kind of games, a lot of these...
I love just having one game to think about, man. I love having one game.
I had to throw that in there, bro.
It's nice. Bro, right now, don't speak to me as an Arsenal fan. Speak to me as a fan.
No. I get it, man. I just had to throw it in. I just tried to fish you in.
The wonderful game of football. That's what I am right now in this specific moment. I think, and it's extremely unfortunate that all of these teams are getting ravaged with COVID. I know you have to expect at this point that every team is going to have an outbreak that takes away 7 or 8 players. So eventually it's going to get to a point where these players have already had COVID. So the likelihood of them catching it within 3 or 4 months is going to be catching it again is going to be low. So I think these teams that are getting it right now, unfortunately saying this, and it sounds terrible to say, but they're going to benefit long run in terms of when all these different tournaments are AFCON starts coming up and other teams are going to be ravaged with losing players to AFCON and then also having COVID.
I don't think AFCON happens in the first place.
That's what I've been hearing too.
Yeah,
Who
it
knows?
might be all over the place, but I hope it does because honestly, Liverpool would be a better when
What's
it
up
comes
with
to
this game?
AFCON.
Still
And
at 2-2?
otherwise, no, yeah, still 2-2. But either way, yeah, I think that's all we have this episode. Unless you guys had anything to add.
I just got to say that Spurs' next 3 games are against Palace, Southampton, Watford. I'm just letting you know.
But if they can't score, right now against
irrespective, I think they win the next 3
downs.
Palace, Watford, Southampton. 9 points for Conte incoming.
Yeah, they could be 1 point behind Chelsea at that point. But who knows? Like, actually, not even because I don't know when they're.
No, they can't be 1 point because they're dropping 2 today.
Yeah, they'd be at 35, 3 points behind.
Yeah.
3 points or 1? No. Okay, fair enough.
If they win today, then they would be.
Yeah.
When are they going to play their game? When are they going to play their games in hand? Because they're going to have 3 games in hand. Games in hand. And they might have to play them within like 2 weeks of each other.
Yeah,
while also having other games.
Yeah,
that could screw them over. Having
it's not just their schedule; it's also the teams they're playing schedule. Who's like Leicester's still playing in Europe and stuff. So it's just going to become complicated, man. But
you guys will see this chance on the. We'll see this chance real quick. Like Alisson with a good save on that. Listen,
but he
I'm
was
not going to lie.
Not offside.
Yeah, bit offside. Yeah. Looking at the VAR, but no, looking at how the start of the game, because I was just looking. My TV's right over there, but they're looking good, man.
Yeah.
And if he's got them, it looks like he got them drilled in a certain way, because the way they were moving to Liverpool, it was something else. So I know I was talking all this stuff about Spurs earlier. Might have to, as SHEGZ said, just be quiet about it. Jeez.
Might have to put some respect on the Spurs.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of time to work with the team, and it's probably showing. And
do we have games that we have to talk about for next week? Do we have games that we have to talk about?
I don't know how many games are actually going to go ahead with all this COVID and all this stuff. Like I don't know, games are just getting. I don't think Chelsea is going to get another game because we get one more COVID case. It's probably going to be called off.
From what I hear is they're waiting for today's game to end, and then they're gonna kind of sit down and make a decision because they want to shut it down for a while and maybe open it back. Jan or something. Yes.
It's all up in the air, so we'll come back to those once we get a better idea.
I mean the next games are going to be.
I cannot take not seeing any more football, man. Nah, man, I need to see some football.
Yeah.
Bro.
It would be like even if they do the games behind closed doors, it would still be better than like shutting it off completely. If the players are available,
I would prefer if fans are not there. Fine, just play football, man.
But either way, we'll wrap things up. Please like, share, subscribe.
Yes, boys.
Thanks, guys, for the support. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back again soon.
All right.
Peace, everyone.
Peace out.